writer, musician, all-round superstar, John Robb. John. And next up, obviously, he favours lots of things, but mainly these days, festival, Cannes Festival. Really nice guy, Rob DeBank. And then finally, and I've actually got books. I've been meaning to give this to Michael for about 6 years. It's like it's like a copy of the poster for the first festival he went to in 1970. Right? This was down the road from his farm. And the lineup included Led Zeppelin, Jefferson Airplane, Frank Zappa, Pink Floyd, Moody Blues, Santana, Dr. John, whatever. Anyway, he's been one of my oldest friends, top man. Mr. Revis, come on stage.
Okay, we haven't got a lot of time, as ever, so for the first half hour I'll be talking to these two gents here. So you had a chat together here 6 years ago. Has there been a lot of changes in the festival scene in that time?
We haven't actually changed at all. We're just, I mean, we're still going strong. That's the great thing about it. But you've grown since then.
Physically a lot.
The show's grown.
Shooting up.
Yeah, we're both a bit grayer as well. Yeah, I mean, festival's probably doubled or more in that time. So 6 years ago, we were probably 20,000 now.
I'm in the pavilion.
I mean, in the general kind of festival scene, has there been changes in that time?
No, the demand is still there, which is amazing. I don't know why, but it is so. We sell out in about 3 or 4 hours. Tickets sold in that period of time. It's amazing, isn't it? And I still don't know why it sells so well. I don't understand. It's great anyway. We love it for bits, and the other time I love it.
Rob, it's interesting because Mike says he doesn't know why it sells, but as a different promoter, why would you say it sells? Glastonbury sells out so quickly when you don't even know who's playing it.
I mean, it's the granddaddy of all the festivals, really, around the world now. 42 years old now.
Yeah, 42.
Yeah, 42 years of incredible builds, and it sort of set the template for festivals, whether you're a Reading or a B, a huge festival, or your end of the road, Secret Garden, the Glade, whatever festival you're kind of running, you definitely have got some inspiration from Michael's love and Glastonbury.
I mean, there's a lot of talk, with the recession, with the sort of decline in the music industry, etc., etc. But in the live circuit, the general live circuit, is struggling sometimes. Why is it the festivals perennially, well, nearly always successful? What is it about? No, they're not cheap, are they?
I don't really know. I mean, the people in the UK are going to have to actually come to the festival. Wherever we got the year off this year, so they're going down to Rob's or they're going to John's the other way, or to Melbourne's the red way, you know what I mean? So there's always somewhere else to go, isn't there? And what's your question?
It's just, it's just like it's a lot, the recession, a lot of festivals. There's a lot of people saying, oh, it's music is struggling, but every year, I mean, I know some festivals struggle, but generally the festivals do pretty well.
Yeah.
And I was just interested in why is that?
Yeah, I don't really know. I think people do really enjoy themselves in Glastonbury, and I mean, since the medieval times, but 400 years ago in the Shakespearean times, but the medieval fairs are very similar to what we're doing now. So it's a long tradition.
Yeah, I mean, me and Michael just did a thing for The Guardian on Twitter. We were talking about how, why the UK is such an amazing place for festivals, why there's this sort of party spirit when we talk about hedonism. Michael was pointing out 500 years ago, this was kind of going on in a different way, maybe with a jug of mead instead of a pint of cider. But, it's this sort of thing in the UK that it's well and truly alive. And, yeah, there is something happening this year, and there's something maybe happening generally where possibly the bigger festivals, Glastonbury aside, are kind of maybe, suffering slightly, and people are thinking, well, there's so many brilliant smaller festivals, independent independent festivals, boutique festivals, whatever you call them. I went on e-festivals before I came here. There were 717 music festivals in the UK this year. So there's a huge amount of choice out there why people might go to one festival over another. And I don't think it's true that festivals are having a bad year. It's just that some festivals aren't having a bad year, and a lot of festivals are actually having a better year.
Yeah, that's interesting. Why that is?
That is because some people are bored of going to the big festivals. They're also, I think, in the economic climate, possibly mums and dads aren't buying students tickets. They can't afford 200 quid for their kids to go off to some of the bigger festivals that possibly run on that sort of younger crowd. Also, headliners, people kind of digging the headliners that some of the bigger shows are doing. I mean, some of the smaller shows are struggling as well, so it's not cut and dried. You can't really put your finger exactly on it, but I think that the media love to just get stuck in on one year, and it's a constantly changing thing. In 5 years' time, we won't be looking back at 2012 as the year where something radical happened. It's a constantly evolving thing.
I mean, do you think boutique festivals are a challenge to Glastonbury?
What does boutique mean?
Small festival. Yeah. Whereas you've only got about 30 stages, it's one of those stages on its own as a festival, in a way. But they're also a very kind of niche, it's all about one type of thing, one idea, one really good idea, one cool idea.
We just do lots of everything, basically, and I've got 1,000 acres of activity. It costs 32 million to put the show on, so it's a huge thing. And we manage to squeeze out 2 million every year from charity subsidies as well. But apart from that, it's a huge risk financially, really. Basically, a bit difficult. Like 2 years ago, when we did the Jay-Z thing, instead of the traditional Anglo-Saxon rock and roll stuff that we usually do, so we did Jay-Z, which was a huge sort of change, wasn't it? And so people didn't like it for a while, and we nearly didn't sell. So we only sold out on the Thursday night before the show started on the Friday. And because we put on Amy Winehouse as well, I see in the last fortnight, so she helped us to sell as well, bless her heart. And so it's a huge risk still, even though we're selling out again now because the Jake's been so successful. And so that we made the jump of the leap in the dark, so to speak, because I couldn't get the headliners that we normally get. And so Jay-Z turned out to be a huge triumph in the end. And so we're back on track again. They were selling out quickly again now. But I mean, that can go. I'm not complacent, you know what I mean? We were every day, all day, thinking nothing else. And so working on next year at the moment. And at points you can't get complacent. So you can't get blasé about it. It's hard work to make it work properly. And I'm sure that the Rob would know that much it does take a lot of energy.
It's important to have like an element of risk taking, like you did that
Yeah,
point.
you have to take the risk of it, yeah, you do. And it's a huge risk, it's so much money, the figures are so big nowadays. But we've got 1,000 acres of all sorts of stuff going on every acre, you know what I mean? And it just mounts up, you see. And so we try and pay the band as much as we can afford to pay them, obviously. And somehow or another it does still work, but it's still as far as I'm concerned, it's a huge risk.
Yeah,
That's true for you.
And I think anything for granted.
Yeah.
We enjoy doing it.
Is that true for you, Rob, as well?
Yeah. I mean, I love doing it firstly, but it's a stressful sort of business. I think people, occasionally look at festival promoters and think, oh yeah, they're rolling in it and driving around in big cars, and it's actually like, I run the AIF, which is 35 independent festivals around the country, mostly under the size of 20,000, most of them 5,000 to 10,000 people, and these are guys that are running them on their farms or borrowing some land, or real sort of scratch my back, scratch your sort of thing. It's a kind of barter economy for some of them, where they're kind of just squimping past each year because they absolutely love it. Obviously, there's another market where people are making a lot of money from it, and that's great also. So it's both things kind of coexist. But I think you talk to anyone from Melvin, Ben, to the guys who run V, to Michael, and it's like no one can guarantee that your festival's going to sell out in any one year. Whatever size festival you are. So we're, festivals have great, we've had 10 years of selling out every year, we're continuing kind of strongly on that, but, it's always like, oh God, who we're going to book for next year, will our crowd have moved on, will something else have come up, it's like, it is kind of stressful.
It's interesting because I just want to go back to that boutique festival again. You say like the changes in the last 6 years. To me, it seems like there's been a fracturing in the festivals. A lot more of these smaller niche festivals. So Rob, because I didn't get to ask you this, but why do you think that is?
Well, I think, 10 years ago, there was the Big Chill, there was, WOMAD, there was Reading and Glastonbury, a handful of smaller shows, and then, festival came along as well as part of that, following on, and suddenly, when Secret Garden was there 10 years ago, and, so a few of us, about a decade ago, it suddenly started, a lot of little smaller shows popping up, and I suppose people kind of looked at things like the Big Chill or the Secret Garden and thought, right, okay, well, maybe we'll have a go at that, and, there's so many enterprising people in the UK, it's like music festivals are a lot of fun, whether you're the promoter or the punter, so I think people have seen gaps in the market, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, when we were having this chat, I was just about to launch Camp Festival, and that was looking at, right, there's no real sort of family-friendly show that is specifically for families, so we kind of plugged that in, and now, there's a festival for everything. There's a trance festival, there's a Frosty festival, there's like so many different like niche festivals, and that is kind of what the boutique thing is about. I think a boutique festival, as Michael says, he's not sure what it is. I suppose it's one that offers more than just a stage and a bar and some bands on the stage, and that's it. You pay your money and sleep in a tent and watch the bands. It's about the whole experience. I think you could maybe classify it some way you don't actually have to see the bands. It's like you have an experience on the song.
Do you think
it's a bit loose, is it? I think the boutique thing, does that mean you've got flash news or something?
Which festival is that?
Yeah, I've seen that. The trouble is with calling yourself a boutique festival, being known as one, I don't think many people call themselves, is that people do expect a very high level of stuff. High standards, so you kind of shoot yourself in the foot as well.
It's important to know who your audience is. When you put a festival on, do you kind of imagine who's going to go to it?
Yeah, I try to every year. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't get any easier. And audiences evolve. I think some of the festivals that haven't happened this year or haven't happened in the last few years haven't been paying attention to what their audiences want. Some of the, they've booked the wrong headliners. They've not got younger with some of their younger audience coming through, and it's constantly evolving. As Michael knows with Glastonbury, you can't book, your Led Zeppelin or whatever every year. You need Jay-Z in there. You need like, what's his wife called? Yeah. I'm down with the kids on it. You need Beyonce. You need Jay-Z. You need those fresh injections for the 16, 18, 20-year-old kids to come through. Otherwise you're going to turn into a festival for 40, 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds, and
I guess you don't mind about that, though, do you? Do you think those terms, or does it matter to you?
It's a cross-section. You've got a swathe of people from sort of students from, say, 17 to 30, you know what I mean? But then we've got the people with loads of money that go on the hill, on my neighbour's farm, they don't do with me, but that's where they like to go. But so that they go to the posh campaign, okay, they sold out there, and she got 70 tents. She sold out within 45 minutes of festival finishing last year for next year. It's a huge amount of that. So that we've got all sorts of people, all sorts of the people that are really wealthy and big, but mostly the real market that we provide for is for the orphan kids that really haven't got much money at all, but they save up to come, So 150,000 of those, but then there's the niche bit that's on the farm next door, where they fancy that. But so the whole demand for the Glastonbury ticket is really unreasonable, because there's a huge amount of all sorts of different people.
Yeah, it's a different
and
set of
it covers the whole
qualifications.
of society, yeah. And it really is an extraordinary mix of people and cultures. And so that makes it interesting for me, especially for me. Rather than some of the other shows that are all the same sorts of people. like heavy metal things, or the neck and stuff. You know what I mean? So we've got a whole mix of different sorts of people that really makes it a real sort of UK sort of kind of Englishy thing, which is what I like.
So what are the challenges now with putting on Glastonbury? I mean, obviously the name, the brand name is going to sell the tickets, but there's a whole raft of challenges.
Yeah. And we saw that before we announced our headliner act. And so we don't announce much later in the day. But people do expect, I think they do expect, sort of quite a high level of artists, you know what I mean? So we couldn't get away with it. We didn't deliver at the end of the day. So that people would actually spend 200 quid on the ticket without really knowing who's paying.
Yes, you don't let them down.
At the end of the day, I mean, we've been doing it for 42 years now, and so I think it's getting better. It's still getting better. So that people expect a high level of. And last year we had Coldplay, U2, Beyonce. I mean that was pretty good. Apart from all the other stuff, you know, all the non-music stuff, which is a huge thing in itself. You know what I mean? And
do you kind of miss the days where it was, you know, no fences and just loads of people piling in?
Well, it was
a bit more.
It was a lot of fun in those days, but not really. But half the people paid to come in, half of them didn't. And a kind of Robin Hood thing, you know, the rich pay for the poor sort of thing. So that we robbed the rich to pay for the poor. But so exactly half of the people paid to come in. For about 20 years, half of them didn't. We didn't really care about that, because it kind of worked. Half it didn't pay were a lot more fun in a way. So that it created the atmosphere, you see. So very, very well. With the police and like that, nor did London Council either. So I had to bring Melbourne Ben on board, give me a hand, so everybody paid to come in at that point. So we built a proper fence and everything, but it's still good. I think it's actually better than it was even now. You know, but I would say that, wouldn't I?
Trying to sell it to us. So what are the challenges for you? Festival completely different than Michael's, are they, actually?
Yeah, well, I mean, some of them are the same, you know, cost of acts, cost of fencing, obviously not the same as the super fence. You know, yeah, the biggest costs for us are you know, fencing, staging, all of things, you know, lights, toilets. It's just a huge, never-ending list of stuff, and I sort of thank Michael for having been through those sort of crazy years where he was fighting off people with tough cocktails and sort of on combine harvesters driving at him or whatever it was, and some of the truth. But
yeah, they burnt actually 12 Land Rovers. So it wasn't all fun in Roses, I tell you. I mean, that was the end of the two-party system, you know. But that's when the police had enough's enough, and so it all ended then at that point. 1990, that was the year of that. So it got nice in the end, but it was great leading up to that point. It was quite fun.
Yeah, I think you know, Michael going through all of that kind of set the template for how festivals need to be run, and whether you want to put on a 200 capacity thing on your farm or 50,000 festival, whatever it is, it's, you know, there are rules and those are kind of boring, but they need to be stuck to, and it's like, you know, with all the different bills and documents passing all the time, it's like you can't get away with it. So everything costs a hell of a lot of money, and a lot of our sort of members in the AIF, you know, we're only running for 3,000 people, and you know, the water bills are just going up, and everything is just going up. And it's not a sob story, because yeah, we make money off the tickets and it's a lot of fun and we love doing it, but you know, I'd say that, you know, 90% of the independent market struggle to kind of break even, if make a profit, you know, through having all those challenges.
I mean, do you think, obviously festivals are safe now, do you think some of the kind of maverick, so-called festival spirit's been lost?
Well, you know, I started going to Glastonbury 20 years ago, and at that point, you know, I told Michael this before, shamefacedly, I jumped over the fence, and I was one of those people that, you know, went in.
Get money back now.
I was, you know, a poor student, but you know, it was kind of racy and it was exciting, and I was 18, and it was, you know, it was really great, and you know, dealers, and, you know, it was all kind of a bit sort of, you know, exciting. But I don't miss that, and maybe that's because I'm in my 30s now, and you know, I sort of need a safer environment to muck around in. I think there are still a a lot of festivals where it is kind of racier. But yeah, the sort of authorities are kind of directing how that happens, I suppose.
So do you think some original spirits, the spirit of Glastonbury, which people still go to Glastonbury for, do you think we've lost a bit of that over the years?
I don't think so. No, people have had a good time there, but they really do appreciate the sign, the history, and the legend, and the ley lines, all that stuff. And mind you, they drink cider as well. Yeah. So the mixture of sort of spills and things.
You can see the ley lines then, yeah.
Yeah, the ley line thing is still very popular, you know. And the whole magic of the whole Glastonbury area and stuff is still very popular. I mean, people do love all that. Dave was talking about last night television, wasn't he, from Blue on Newsnight. And people like him and Bono and Chris Martin and Paul Carney, all, when they play for us, they go on and on about the whole Glastonbury thing. So they want me to tell them what it's all about. I don't really know what it's about either. But they've got this wonderful feeling for it. But they do love it, they really do, the whole spirit thing. And it means something to them. I mean, it's extraordinary in this day and age, but it does. And I mean, one chap came to the farm and said, "Where's the ley line, man? I know it's cool when you're on it, but where is it?" Are you serious or not? Are you pulling my leg? He said, "No," he said, "I'm serious." I guess, so I marched him to the ley line, you know. And so, he was convinced, you know, when he got there, because it was snowing miserable and everything. Okay, and he was all decked up in all his fur coats and fur boots. And so set him on the ley line and said he went in that direction. And he went up as high as a kite. And he really believed that he was on the ley line.
And was he?
Yeah, he was on the ley line, actually. He was on the ley line. So that people do really love that sort of thing.
And do they all converge onto the pyramid stage? Was that just like an urban myth?
No, the pyramid stage is it's about 300 yards off the ley line. Yeah, it is actually.
Good luck for it next time.
Yeah, there you go. I'll show you where it is.
I'm quite intrigued, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of talk in the last couple of years that a lot of the bands that headline festivals are or established big acts or reformed big acts. There's a worry that we're not getting enough new young acts and potential headliners in years to come. Do you think that's true, or do you think that's just people?
Well, we're all looking for the Smiths and the Radiohead and the Coldplay. We're looking for the new band, aren't we? But I don't know who it is at the moment. You got any idea? Russell probably knows. Look over there, yeah, Russell knows. So we're all looking for that moment, that magical moment. I saw the Smiths in 1984 to Bristol University. The Union Hall, there were about 500 people there, and I mean, absolutely fantastic, and so the buttons straight away, you know. So we're looking for that moment, aren't we?
Could you take that risk now, see the band play to 500 people, get to headline Glastonbury? It's a far better operation now, isn't it? You know, to put a band straight at the top. You know, just a band on the way up.
That band just got the real buzz to it, like the Smiths, even Oasis, you know, when they kicked off, it's finding that band, isn't it? It's so obvious to me. And when I first heard Oasis, it was so obvious that they were going to be huge. Also with the Smiths, it was obvious to me as well. But I mean, we're waiting for the new band. I mean, maybe this weekend there'll be something here, I don't know. But when I can look at it and listen to it, my God, that's it, you know. I'm waiting for that moment. But they say Hayden probably know. Jim Russell will certainly know.
Age is beyond age. I'll give it a little list later.
Yeah.
So, Rob, do you think that's true, is it more? Because your festivals, because it's smaller compared to Michael's, you can take more chances. Is it difficult to find new headliners, or do you have to rely on the same old names?
Well, I suppose, you know, look at the lineup this year, I've got Stevie Wonder, which obviously Michael kind of did two years ago, so I can't be disingenuous and pretend that it's all like brand new acts. A festival like, I've got 450 acts, probably the biggest bill outside of Glastonbury, so, you know, about 70% of that is probably new, you know, exciting music from all different all different countries, all different styles. But yeah, you know, the thing with headliners I was thinking about the other night is that no one wants to go and watch a headliner that's possibly only got half an album or an album or even 2 albums that aren't incredible albums. And you know, someone like Stevie Wonder or New Order or even someone like Orbital, you know, they've got 4 or 5 albums. You know, they've got that sort of heritage. And yeah, there's possibly a few people, newer artists of the last 5 years that have done 2 amazing albums, but that'll be their whole set. So if you're giving them an hour and a half, 2 hours on your stage, and it is a big festival, you kind of need that. So I think there's maybe too much emphasis placed on the headliners. It's not the be-all and end-all of most big festivals. You know, you don't need to go near the pyramid stage of Glastonbury to have an amazing time to discover loads of great music. Obviously, it's a kind of selling point, and the media like to talk about it.
To make the point of this, so on the 15th of June, BBC TV, BBC4 actually showing the non-music last year, the festival last year, as a programme for an hour and a half, and it's been directed by Julian Temple, and it's a fantastic film with the non-music stuff in Glastonbury, so that you can see exactly what we're talking about. So that's about 4 weeks' time, and Negro Late Life can be one hell of a good film for BBC4.
Well, for me,
late night viewing.
For me, that's my favourite part of Glastonbury, Greenfield,
Yeah,
small stages. Yeah.
You'll see Julian's version of that is absolutely unbelievable. It really is. So I record that we're showing the weekend. It would have been the festival for TV, you see. So BBC is showing that sort of instead of the actual band. It's good, isn't it? Exciting.
Oh, it's good, yeah, because it shows what Glastonbury should be about as well.
Yeah.
Not just a conveyor belt bands. But Rob, just a quick one. Do you think we are running out of headline bands?
No, we're not running out. I mean, you know, in 5 years' time, some of the bands that are around now and aren't quite big enough to maybe headline some of the bigger shows will be. They'll have maybe done another album or 2, and you know, they'll have a few albums worth of material. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to sit here and say, yeah, next year I'm going to take a risk and I'm going to put on, you know, Mystery Jets or you know, some of my favourite, you know, smaller acts. But I've got to sell 50,000 tickets. You know, so if I was starting out now, then maybe I would. And you know, the smaller shows, you know, so many of the brilliant smaller shows are putting on much smaller headlines. You know, people like the Correspondents or whatever are now headlining festivals. Beardy Man, you know, it's like it's great, it's fantastic. But there's no point in putting those on at a big show and then, you know, the majority of the audience not even actually watching. But for me, part of the beauty of the festival is to have those huge crowd moments where everyone's singing along, everyone knows all the words. You know,
Elbow.
What's that?
Elbow.
Yeah, Elbow. Stevie Wonder. It's like.
Well, Elbow's an example of a band that come through the last few years, festivals, aren't they? So, I'm not sure if that question actually holds water. So,
what we want to know is where are the new headliners? That's what we need to know. So that's what this thing's all about, isn't it, this weekend? And
they're here, they're lurking.
We're all over the place.
They're in this room.
There must be something coming through that's really powerful.
Oh, there is.
I'm really looking forward to it.
So, just before we wrap up the first half, who your dream headliner is? Not giving away who you're booking next year.
Oh no.
You can if you want, I won't tell anybody.
No, I can't really. I mean, we've had most of them. There's only one we haven't had, I can say this. So we haven't had the Rolling Stones, and so...
Is that because Mick Jagger's greedy?
Well, I'm going to try... What?
So is Mick's a little greedy?
No, I'm going to try a bit harder, I think. I'm going to try a bit
Greedy. They should do it. I think they need you more than you need them now.
Yeah, but can you just... Can you persuade them with that?
Yeah, well, I'll text them after.
Okay.
Yeah. I think
that's the only one that's missing, actually. To be with all the others. Got some great together, would have liked to have. And then a bit burnt Jerry Garcia died, unfortunately. But and that was my favourite band when I was a kid.
They have reformed without them, I'm sure. Haven't they reformed without them?
But Garcia was a man, wasn't he?
Yeah, it's a bit of a hole.
It's like the Stones with Mick Jagger, isn't it? Yeah. Don't you think?
It's like New Order without Hooky.
Keep it out of your order.
Yeah.
So who's your dream headliner? Yours with Hooky?
Yeah. Joy Division. Yeah, I'm not, because I always give them away and then I sort of...
Well, don't give them, I'm not trying to get information out.
I know, well, I mean...
The fantasy world.
No,
it could be dead, it could be Elvis, I don't know.
I mean, on the festival message boards. It's a well-known thing. I try Kate Bush every year. We constantly badger her. She's always said no. This year she read in an interview, she said something about never say never to play live games. So, Dolly Parton, always loved it. Have you had a
no, but I can't say words.
It worked not to be giving anything away.
It worked. Something like Joy Division, from the past, obviously. I don't have sort of crystal ball. Every year I sort of get to September, get the festival out of the way. Literally, we go out for a debrief that night with all the crew and have a sort of thank you party. And that's where we start. We start sort of wondering who might be good for next year. And already now, I've already been talking to some of the headliners for next year, but I'm not as advanced as Michael is with Dolly and.
Okay, well that brings the first half. Are you going to stay with us the second half? Or?
Yeah, as you said, yeah.
So we've got two more people, two more festival organisers. Bring them up.
Okay.
You can stay.